I walk through a lot of kitchens, and lately I have noticed something that concerns me. Homeowners are spending thousands of dollars on countertop materials that look absolutely stunning in showrooms and on Pinterest boards. And then 6 months later, they are frustrated, disappointed, and in some cases facing repairs that cost almost as much as the original installation. And I have 7 countertop choices that I think you really need to think twice about before signing that contract. Not because they are bad materials, some of them are genuinely beautiful, but because there is a gap between what people expect and what they actually get. And number 1 on this list, I see it everywhere right now. And I think you are going to be surprised when you hear what it is. If you find yourself nodding along, tap subscribe. Let us start with the countertop that dominates Pinterest boards, but rarely survives real kitchen life. Why does that gorgeous concrete countertop already have cracks after 6 months? Concrete countertops are everywhere on social media right now. That industrial aesthetic, the matte finish, the idea that you can customize the color and even embed objects into it. It sounds perfect for someone who wants something unique. Here is what the Pinterest photos do not show you. Jeff Gerard, founder of the Concrete Countertop Institute in Raleigh, North Carolina, explains that hairline cracks often occur near areas of moisture, like sinks and dishwashers, where concrete repeatedly absorbs moisture and then dries out. Over time, this wetting and drying cycle causes the concrete to crack. And there is more. Fu-Tung Chung, principal designer at Cheng Design in Berkeley, California, puts it bluntly: if it is not cracked, it is not concrete. That old saying exists because cracking is simply part of the material's nature. Concrete is also extremely porous. Even with a good sealer, it absorbs liquids faster than you would expect. Red wine, olive oil, tomato sauce. These can leave permanent shadows if you do not wipe them up immediately. According to Angie, sealing your concrete countertops is required at least once a year, and even then, spills need to be cleaned immediately because sealing is not impervious. The weight is another factor nobody mentions until installation day. Concrete countertops are extremely heavy. According to industry reports, concrete countertops can exceed 700 pounds for an average kitchen countertop space. Your existing cabinets may need reinforcement. That adds costs nobody budgeted for. If you love the concrete look, here is my honest advice. Consider porcelain slabs that mimic concrete perfectly. Same aesthetic, none of the maintenance headaches. Your future self will thank you. Now here is a trend that sounds elegant and modern but has a hidden vulnerability that most salespeople never explain. Is your ultra-thin countertop one heavy pot away from disaster? Ultra-thin countertops, usually 12 millimeters or about half an inch thick, have become extremely popular in contemporary kitchen design. They look sleek, they look sophisticated. Designers love how they create clean, minimalist lines. Here is the problem. Nobody talks about until something goes wrong. According to countertop specialists at Worktops in the United Kingdom, slim countertops require additional support underneath, particularly around overhangs, hob cutouts, or sink areas. In high-traffic kitchens, their edges can be more prone to chipping if knocked with heavy items. Experts at Dave's Tile City in California explain that edge profiles play a major role in how ultra-thin countertops perform. A sharp square edge emphasizes the modern look, but can be more vulnerable to chipping. The fabrication also requires precision cutting, careful handling, and specialized equipment. Transporting large format thin slabs demands experience to prevent cracking before installation even begins. A heavy cast iron pan dropped at the wrong angle. A grandchild climbing up on the counter. These everyday moments can cause damage that would not happen with a standard thickness slab. According to industry fabricators, thin slabs require more careful handling during installation, more precise support underneath, and more cautious daily use. For a busy family kitchen where real life happens, that is a lot of extra worry. If you love the thin look, consider using it for a backsplash or a feature wall where it will not take daily abuse. For your main work surface, standard thickness gives you peace of mind. Speaking of things that look amazing in the showroom, let me tell you about a choice that creates one of the most frustrating problems in kitchen design. Why do those dramatic veins make your kitchen look like a jigsaw puzzle gone wrong? heavily veined stone, those dramatic slabs with bold rivers of color running through them, can be absolutely breathtaking. When you see a single slab in a showroom, backlit and displayed like a work of art, it is easy to fall in love. Then it gets installed in your kitchen, and suddenly you have a problem nobody warned you about: seams. According to Dynamic Stone Tools, a professional fabricator resource on dramatically veined stones like Calicut marble, fantasy brown quartzite, or blue Bahia granite, a seam that interrupts a flowing vein creates an obvious visual break. They advise fabricators to never promise an invisible seam on dramatically veined stone because that promise sets up a complaint. Stone fabricators at Edstone in Central Florida put it this way: quartzite with dramatic veining is gorgeous but demanding. A good vein match can make the seam nearly invisible. A bad vein match turns it into the first thing guests notice. Unless your kitchen is very small, you will need multiple slabs. And matching dramatic veining across 2 or 3 pieces is incredibly difficult. Even the best fabricators struggle to make bold patterns flow naturally from one slab to the next. Here is what experienced designers recommend. If you love natural stone, consider materials with subtle, consistent movement rather than dramatic, bold veining. The seams disappear visually, the kitchen looks cohesive, and you avoid that jarring interruption that catches your eye every time you walk in. And if you absolutely must have dramatic veining, insist on seeing the slab layout before cutting begins. Ask your fabricator to show you exactly how the slabs will be positioned. Not a drawing, the actual slabs. Yet dramatic veining is not the only eco-friendly choice that sounds better in theory than it works in practice. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Have you already made one of these countertop choices, or are you currently deciding? Drop a comment below and tell me what you are considering. Now let me tell you about a countertop that sounds wonderful on paper but creates real problems in daily life. Why is your eco-friendly recycled glass countertop chipping around the edges? Recycled glass countertops appeal to homeowners who want something environmentally conscious and visually unique. Crushed glass embedded in resin or concrete, available in beautiful colors, made from recycled materials. What is not to love? Here is what the brochures do not mention. The glass pieces that make these countertops so visually interesting are also their weakness. Around edges and sink cutouts, the glass fragments can chip out over time. You are left with small divots where smooth glass used to be, and those glass pieces can create an uneven surface that makes rolling dough or doing other kitchen tasks surprisingly difficult. What looks gorgeous as a decorative element does not always function well as a working surface. The resin binders used in many recycled glass countertops also have heat limitations. A hot pan can cause discoloration or even damage the resin around the glass pieces, creating permanent marks. If sustainability matters to you, and it should, there are better options. Porcelain slabs are made from natural materials and last decades. Quartzite is a natural stone that requires no synthetic binders. Both are better choices for a working kitchen where eco-conscious meets practical. Speaking of DIY trends that sound amazing, this next one is flooding social media with stunning before and after photos. And I need to warn you about what happens after the camera stops rolling. Why is that stunning epoxy countertop already yellowing and scratching? Epoxy resin countertops have exploded on YouTube and TikTok. Those mesmerizing pour videos, the swirling colors, the idea that you can transform old laminate into something that looks like exotic stone for a fraction of the cost. It is incredibly appealing. Here's what those videos do not show you. According to epoxy coating professionals at Polson Epoxy Designs, epoxy can yellow under certain conditions, particularly when exposed to UV light. The short answer is yes, standard epoxy will yellow over time. The resins break down under ultraviolet exposure, and there is no way to completely prevent it with indoor epoxy formulas. Professional installers at Porla Epoxy explain that yellowing near windows or in bright sun points directly to UV degradation. They note that absolutely all standard epoxy systems will experience some amber shift over years of exposure to sunlight. White and light-colored countertops show this change first, often taking on a creamier hue with age. And the scratching. industry experts confirm that epoxy is softer than most people realize. Sliding a ceramic plate across the surface, chopping without a cutting board. Even everyday use leaves marks that accumulate until your gorgeous pour looks tired and worn. Heat tolerance is another serious concern. According to coating specialists, even repeated low-grade heat from a coffee maker, slow cooker, or air fryer can heavily stress the epoxy surface over time, causing discoloration that mimics yellowing, but appears as brown or cloudy patches. The pour videos make it look easy. The reality is that professional quality epoxy work requires specific temperature conditions, careful mixing ratios, and experience that most DIY homeowners do not have. Bubbles, uneven curing, and adhesion failures are common. If you love the epoxy look, understand that it is better suited for a craft room or bar top that gets occasional use rather than a kitchen that sees daily cooking. And here's where things get concerning for one of the most beloved natural materials in kitchen design. Why is the wood around your sink turning black and lifting? Butcher block and wood countertops are warm, beautiful, and bring a natural element that hard surfaces cannot match. I genuinely love wood in kitchens, but there is one location where wood causes problems year after year: the sink area. This is where standing water accumulates, where the faucet drips, where wet dishes sit while drying. And wood, no matter how well sealed, eventually absorbs that constant moisture. The result is predictable. The grain lifts, the finish fails, dark stains develop that no amount of sanding completely removes. The area around your sink starts looking worn and damaged while the rest of your countertop still looks beautiful. I have walked through kitchens where the island butcher block is gorgeous after 10 years, but the sink run had to be replaced twice. The difference is simply water exposure. Here is my honest recommendation. If you love butcher block, use it for your island or a baking station away from water. For the sink run, choose something that does not mind getting wet constantly. Stone, quartz, porcelain. You get the warmth where you want it and the durability where you need it. Which brings us to the final countertop choice on this list. And this one might save you more money than any other advice in this entire video. Why is your budget countertop swelling around the sink after just 2 years? Prefabricated and modular countertops, the ones sold at big box stores in standard sizes, seem like an incredible value. Install it yourself, save thousands on fabrication, have new countertops by the weekend. What could go wrong? Quite a lot, actually. Most prefab countertops have a particle board or MDF core. The surface might look like granite or quartz, but underneath is material that swells the moment moisture finds a way in. And moisture always finds a way in. The sink cutout is the weak point. Even with caulk and sealant, water eventually penetrates. The core swells. The laminate surface lifts. Within 2 or 3 years, you are replacing countertops you thought would last a decade. The seams are another problem. Prefab countertops require joining pieces with strips or caulk that never quite match the surface. Those seams collect dirt, trap moisture, and create visual interruptions that make even a new installation look budget grade. And here is the hidden cost nobody calculates. When those countertops fail in 3 years, you are paying for removal, disposal, and new countertops all over again. The savings disappeared, and you spent more than if you had invested in quality the first time. If budget is tight, here is better advice. A well-fabricated laminate countertop with a solid core and proper edge treatment will outlast a prefab option by years. The cost difference is modest, but the durability difference is significant. Here is what I want you to take away from everything we have discussed today. These 7 countertop choices are not bad materials. Some of them are genuinely beautiful, but each one has a gap between expectations and reality that catches homeowners off guard. Concrete looks industrial chic, but cracks and stains. Ultra-thin slabs look elegant, but chip easily. Dramatic veining looks stunning alone, but creates seam nightmares. Recycled glass sounds eco-friendly, but chips at the edges. Epoxy looks amazing in videos, but yellows and scratches. Wood around sinks eventually fails from moisture. And prefab options save money up front, but cost more in the long run. You are not making a purchase you will live with for 2 years. This is a 15 or 20-year decision. The countertop you choose will be there when the grandchildren visit, when holidays are celebrated, when ordinary Tuesday dinners become precious memories. You deserve to make that decision with your eyes wide open. Now you know which countertops to think twice about. But knowing what to avoid is only half the equation. And if you are wondering which countertop materials actually hold up beautifully for decades, the ones that busy families rely on, the ones that still look stunning after years of real kitchen life, you need to see our video on the countertops that designers actually choose for their own homes. Because the answers might surprise you. I will leave a link right here, and I will see you in that video.